go for it. So welcome everybody to our booth, and welcome to our next presentation. And once again, why are you guys standing there? Is there something special there? Is there some kind of black hole I don't see where you're gonna fall into? No, huh? Just come inside. We have wonderful seats right over here and there. Come inside, come inside. Don't be shy, don't be shy, don't be shy. There we go. It's way more fun if we have a few more people, believe me. Also for you. And you get to see the action right up front. Don't worry, we're all freshly showered and smell good and everything, don't worry, all right? Well, Magnus is looking at me like, I don't know. Anyway, welcome to our next presentation. We'll be talking about digitalization and the digital enterprise for manufacturing, for the manufacturing industry. Now, you might be thinking, digitalization, really? Again, how predictable is that?
I don't like that tone, Chris. I mean, after all, we're living in some really, really exciting times. And looking at you, you doesn't seem to be a guy that likes to live in the past. Am I right?
No. I mean, the past wasn't all bad. We had some good times thinking of vinyl. I'm a kid of the 80s, so I do know what vinyl is, okay? I remember the smell, I remember the sound, the feel.
I do. And for good reasons. Vinyl is kind of going through a revival at the time. But I guess you're also forgetting all those hours. You sat in front of that vinyl player, ripping those albums to do that perfect Friday night mixtape, right?
That's true. But then music was digitized. I mean, everything became way more easy when CDs came out, right?
Yes, and that's a very good word, digitized, because then you talk about digitization, going from analog to digital. But mind you, we are in the age of digitalization. Right. So think about the way you consume music nowadays, and also probably all the people in the audience are consuming music. Streaming services, so you can easily put together your personalized playlist, and you don't have the hassle of copying all that data.
Speaking of streaming, who streams music? Everybody? A lot of people here probably stream music. I wouldn't want to be without it. It's so cool to have.
It is. And then a bit of a nerdy warning here, but those adaptive algorithms that are analyzing your listening habits, and when you go for your run, I mean, it even suggests you music to get that extra few minutes out of that 10K run in the morning. I mean, that's another way of consuming music. That's digitalization.
And it would be great if my shoes could do the same.
What do you mean?
Well, if they could, give me that extra boost and run for me.
The shoes will run for you.
Yeah,
let me look into that. I'll come back to you if I find something. Yeah. But what I can tell you, though, today, you can order your personalized Chris running shoes based on your stature, your weight, your running pattern, and, of course, also in the color of your choice. That you can get today. You would get them delivered in the same time as it would take to get those mass-produced running shoes.
Now, I am aware that digitalization has changed the way we buy things, has changed the way we use things.
Yeah.
But what does this have to do with you as a manufacturer? I mean, it's hard for me to imagine, what you have to go through in order to reach such a level of individualization and mass production.
Huge challenges. I mean, in order to meet yours and my requirements, and everybody else's requirement, you need to be able to do this flexibility in production. You need to do it fast, with high quality, take advantage of resources, get more efficient, protect your system, yet security.
Yeah, I see you're in that office talk. Give us something more tangible.
I got something more tangible. So my suggestion is that you take a seat, enjoy the ride, and I'll take the next few minutes to talk about digitalization.
I said something wrong, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, have fun,
So,
Magnus.
off it goes. Sure. So, first of all, warm welcome to Siemens, and you're here to discover technology. And there's a lot of things happen in the field of technology and development of products nowadays. If you just look at the development, the design phase, how products are coming to life, now we're adapting new ways of doing this, generative design, topology optimization, which is basically adapting nature's way of constructing trees and plants. And when you have those fairly complex constructions, you also need methods to produce them. For example, additive manufacturing, which you can take a look at in the cubicle just behind the stage after I'm done with my presentation, obviously. And products are also evolving over time. Most of you have been in touch with the cloud, with cloud services. Some of you may not know that you have been in touch with them, but you are. And cloud services are not only about storing data, it's about analyzing data, to learn about the data and feed this back to optimize the entire development process. Learn from this insight. And if you want to adapt this type of thinking, you need to transform your company into a digital enterprise and redefine the ideation phase, the realization, and the utilization phase. And to get the most out of this transition, you need to digitalize the entire value chain, which goes from product design and all the way to services. And your aim is to weave a digital thread throughout those 5 steps, throughout the entire value chain. And to support you on this, we as Siemens have got all the hardware and software you need in order to enable that. So why is this transformation necessary? Well, products are getting more complex, and this is probably the only way you can react on those complexity changes, and will also allow you to enable more innovation at less risk. And we call this the holistic approach, and it's enabled due to this graphics as you see. You got Teamcenter as a collaboration platform, storing data, making sure data is flowing back and forth. Behind it, you got MindSphere, our open IoT operating system. And it allows you to analyze the production and your product's behavior and feed that back into the process. And at this point, when everything is aligned, you can work with what we call a digital twin. And a digital twin is more or less a copy of the real world, but obviously in the virtual world. So you can design your product, you can develop your processes, and do anything you'd like, anything you would do in the real world, without building prototypes and without consuming resources unnecessarily. So let me show you this on one of our own products. We at Siemens producing something, a laptop called the Simatic Field PG. PG is Programmiergerät. It's a German word for laptop, more or less. It's not really. So if you're going to do this, you can start to design inside of our NX solution for the industrial design phase, for the construction phase, for the simulation, for manufacturing. And simulation is playing a crucial role in this environment. You can basically simulate everything. So why don't we take a look at that? A computer like this has got a processor. All computers do. And the processor is generating heat or energy. And now we're simulating how this heat has been transferred away inside the laptop. You obviously do not want to get too much heat generated for obvious reasons, because you don't want to start a fire. And since you are working with NX in an associative environment, you can easily go back to the design phase and change, move things around in this environment using synchronous technology, and perhaps stretch this bracket, or perhaps even add an additional ventilation hole on the side of this body. This is design. Just lately, we also got a new family member at Siemens, Mentor Graphics. So now we're also offering solutions for design and simulation of electronic systems. This was a very quick overview, but at this point in time, we have created that digital twin of the product. And now we move on to the next digital twin, the production. And since we're working in Teamcenter, we're also doing the manufacturing planning in this environment. And production planning, for those of you who don't know, is kind of like taking the product, merging it with the resource, the plant data, and the process itself. And when you have that done, you have something we call the bill of process, which you can use for simulating, let's say, the workspace where people are working, because you don't want your workers in the factory to have pains in their back or work-related injuries, we call it. Or you might have a robot, like this dual-arm robot who are working in the same environment, yet here doing it automatically. And then simulation goes also much further. If you have a complete factory, you may want to discover where you have bottlenecks, how much material is flowing through my factory. You can even check how much energy is being consumed and optimize the consumption of the same, and with that, get even more efficient. So now we take a look at the what we call automated engineering. We have a digital twin of a machine, like you see here, with a robot in the background, in our process simulator environment. And from here, we can actually push out and create the PLC code automatically. So we push that information in to our TIA portal, which is our engineering framework for modeling the rest of the automation needed in a factory. And the overall result is validated virtually with Process Simulate and also our virtual controller called PLC Sim Advanced. So we're working on real PLC code with a virtual controller and a virtual or a digital twin of our factory. And this reduces the commissioning time dramatically. And this is the end result, which you also can see in the Digital Enterprise Suite courtyard. So now we have a significant time savings in commissioning, and all the engineering of the automation components are being done in the TIA portal. And thanks to our world-leading automation equipment and our concept of TIA, we enable smooth and efficient production. So that would be the digital twin of the production. And now we're kind of ready to start producing. And also here in the production phase, in the factory, you can also optimize the orders in what order they ought to be produced. This is a Semantic IT Preactor. When you want to get efficient, you also want to make sure that your colleagues in the factory has access to work instructions, safety information, and all that stuff. And this is done also in Semantic IT MES, an MES system. So what you see here with the picture of the robot is more or less a spin-off effect from the manufacturing planning phase. And work instructions lead, it's also used in order to reach good quality of the product. And quality systems, yes, it's also something we're tracking inside this environment, and gives you the ability to be acting proactively, because you will get a notification from the system when your quality values are going out of bounds. So proacting instead of reacting. When we're producing our laptop, we're not only producing that, also a lot of data that is very valuable for us, data we want to use. We're basically turning data into knowledge thanks to MindSphere, our open IoT operating system. You collect and you analyze and you transform it back into the value chain. So with that, we got the twin of the product, the production, and also had collected all that product and production intelligence. And the question is now, what do we do with it? Well, we feed it back into the process to make sure that our product is evolving as well as the production. And what we do is here at Siemens, we have it all on one integrated data model, which means that all stakeholders involved in the product development process and the production development process has got access to the data, no matter where they are on the planet, in what time zone, you will always be sure that you're working on the latest and the released data. So what do you need for all this? Well, we call it the Digital Enterprise Suite. And this is what I've been talking about. You got Teamcenter as a fundament, making sure data is flowing back and forth. You got PLM, MOM, and TIA, and behind it, you got MindSphere. And this is, to me, the only way for companies to get that cut in time to market, produce solutions with quality, enable flexibility and efficiency, and at the same time, protecting the entire intellectual property. And this is kind of the game changer you need today to realize your digital transformation to become a digital enterprise, and with that, make the future yours. Chris, I'm ready. I'm done. You can come back now.
You said the future mine.
The future is yours.
Thank you very much, Magnus Edholm. Can we give him a big round of applause, please, for the presentation here? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And, well, we'd like to invite you to just stick around for our last presentation of the day. Where are you going? You have something more important to do? Not